Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and this is a very short discussion of I Am Spock by Leonard Nimoy in order to kick off Book Trek 2022. So Book Trek 2022 is where myself and some others, including some great co-hosts, are celebrating mostly Star Trek fiction in the months of August and September. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today doesn't quite fit into the strict parameters of Book Trek 2022. But as people who follow my channel are already aware, most of my, or just about all of my library is packed away in anticipation of a move within the next few weeks. So I don't have a lot of books available to me. I did leave a couple out that I'm going to be reading for August and September. But it also means that while I'm packing or if I'm running errands, I've been listening to a lot more audiobooks. And just a few weeks ago, Audible had a sale on short audiobooks. And one of them happened to be Leonard Nimoy's I Am Spock, and narrated by Leonard Nimoy. So for the price of basically a cup of coffee, I figured this would be worth it. Now, it is an abridged version of that work. Generally, I stay away from abridged versions. I'm typically not a fan of them. But I thought with Leonard Nimoy narrating it himself, the book was, I believe, written and published in 1995. With that and with the price tag, very cheap, I thought it was worth the compromise. So over this past week, as I was doing some things, I listened to it. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. It gave a lot of insight into not just the career of Leonard Nimoy, because he talks about his career, but he does it through the lens of Spock. It gives some insight into how the character of Spock evolved, how he was developed, how it affected Leonard Nimoy's career, and the insight that he put into developing that character, right? So he really presents it as something of a symbiotic relationship that he has with the character of Spock. Sometimes he'll pause his narrative and he'll go into a dialogue between himself and Spock. And I found it highly entertaining, really fun listening to the behind-the-scenes stories with the original series and the movies and so on. That stuff was great. There was actually a point inside the book where he talks about that very famous scene in Wrath of Khan, where Spock sacrifices himself in order to save his crew members. And the way that he describes that, not only is it already a touching scene, he talks about how difficult it was to film that, how conflicted he was, knowing that he was creating great drama, but also that he was killing off this character, and the very mixed feelings he had about it. But of course, he talks about the later films and what occurred there. If anybody's interested in learning more about the character of Spock, I would actually recommend listening to that audiobook. It's, I think, a little over 4 hours. It's a pretty quick listen overall. And like I said, yes, it's abridged, but you get to hear Leonard Nimoy himself tell the story, and I think that's worth the price. So again, I got it for a couple bucks in that sale. So, if you add it to a Audible wish list and the sale comes up again, you'll be able to get it for a few bucks. I would be remiss to mention that while I am filming this video, it has just been released in the news that unfortunately Nichelle Nichols passed away, who played Uhura in the original series. So one of the original crew members has passed, unfortunately. And of course, Spock was one of those as well, Leonard Nimoy. So, my heart goes out to Nichelle Nichols' family and anybody who knew her personally and that is suffering her loss. So in light of that sad news, and of course in honor of the terrific things that Nichelle Nichols brought to us, not just in Star Trek, but she was also instrumental in getting women to join NASA in the 1970s. I would like to dedicate August of Book Trek 2022 to Nichelle Nichols and her memory. I hope that anybody who's watching this, that you'll be able to join us for Book Trek this year. And if you are, I'd love to hear what you are reading. And as always, thank you, BookTube.